Hello and welcome to this episode of the Industrial Engineering Notebook. Today's topic is push versus pull systems. This is an important topic in supply chain management, and it is yet another way to characterize your factory. Let's say you got 3 machines going. We're going to be real creative and call these machine 1, machine 2, and machine 3. And each one is working on their little widget right now. We'll say this is an assembly line, so once machine 1 is done, it'll send it over here, and then machine 2 will send it over here, and then on down the line. But these machines have more than just a widget to work on. They also have a demand signal, a card. In this case, it's a purple card. And as soon as machine 2 is done working on its little widget there, it's going to send this demand signal. It's going to show this card to machine 1. And once machine 3 is done working on its widget, it'll show its card to machine 2. It'll send that demand signal to let the machine know to send the next widget over. So in sequence, this is how it works. Machine 3 wraps up, sends the widget on down the line, and then it'll send the demand signal over to machine 2. And then machine 2 sees the demand signal, and it is just finished, just in time. It has finished its widget, and it is sending it over to machine 3. And then machine 2, because it's missing a widget, is going to send its demand signal over to machine 1. And machine 1, just in time, has finished its widget, and it is going to send it over to machine 2 and start the next widget, which presumably there's like an infinite number over there for machine 1 to draw from. So anyway, you kind of get this chain where you have a machine working on a widget and they all kind of finish at the same time and send their demand signal over at the same time. What you get is a very lean system. Everything is perfectly synchronized, and we call this system a pull system, where you start making a product as soon as it's ordered. So the only reason machine 3 finished here technically was because there was some demand card, there was some demand signal out here that reached machine 3. A factory with a pull system is entirely dependent on the market. This is kind of our market over here. And it's almost like the market is pulling the products from the factory. As the demand in the market goes down, the factory just produces fewer products because there are fewer demand signals going in. And as demand in the market increases, more demand signals go in, more products come out. That's not the only way to do it though. Instead, you can make it so machine 1 works on all their widgets and just kind of piles them up here as machine 1 completes them. And machine 2 does the same thing, and so does machine 3. And depending on the rate of the machine kind of determines how many different widgets you have sitting at the end of the machine. And these little sets of work in progress, or WIP, that kind of set is called a queue. And there's a whole field of mathematics in how to determine the best size for this queue and how to manage this queue or these little inventories the best way possible. So anyway, your machine works on it, spits out your widgets, and once machine 2 over here is ready for its next widget, it'll pull directly from the queue. And machine 3 will do the same thing. And this over here is our market, in this perfectly drawn circle. And before, the market was really pulling out of the factory each widget, each product. But now the factory is pushing the products into the market, which is why we call this a push system, where you make the product and you just store what hasn't been used yet. And there are advantages to both of these different systems. In the pull system, everything is very lean. You don't have to worry about managing any inventory. There's no queuing theory, none of that stuff. And you only ever make what you need. But it can be risky because if one link in this chain goes wrong, the market immediately is going to start feeling some unfulfilled demand, which is bad. The pull system, on the other hand, has an abundance of products out there, so the market never feels the need in an ideal situation. But you run the risk of putting too much product out into the market, and then you start losing money. Also, you have to worry about these queues between each machine, make sure they're the right size, accounting for any randomness in the supply and any randomness in the demand. But there are advantages and disadvantages to both. And the reality is you're not going to find any factory that is strictly a push system or strictly a pull system. Usually it's some sort of combination of both. But when you're working on a problem, one important skill is to be able to identify which kind of system you're working with. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button. And if you have questions, feel free to put them in the comments. Easy video, barely an equation.